Hello and thank you for joining. You are watching the presentation for a CEN4020 Group Project. Our project is called Ludus. Our goal is to provide a gamified version of online courses. In this presentation, we will begin by introducing the team members and some of their responsibilities. We will talk about how we came up with our product idea and why it is useful today. We will go over a product description, including how it will work. We'll mention some of the functional requirements and the standards that we intend to uphold while implementing our product. Our team consisted of 3 members, Cassie, Adam, and Tom. We all come together from vastly different backgrounds and live in extremely different time zones. However, we were still able to work together efficiently, making sure that each member contributed to and learned from every aspect of the project. We accomplished this by using collaborative systems such as Google Docs, where every member was free to comment and question on every aspect of the project. As a team, we made sure that every member contributed to every aspect of the project. However, we also divided the project into 3 main sections and assigned a section to each team member. Cassie managed the presentation, while Adam was in charge of the diagrams, and Tom made final calls on the SRS. Hi, my name is Kassandra Coan, and I'm a part of the CEN4020 Group Project Ludus. Currently, I am a senior earning my CS degree online with Florida State University. I take my courses online so that I may do internships and travel while I'm studying. I just completed a 6-month internship with Google Chrome as a software engineer. Now I am on my way to Sydney, Australia, where I will do another 3-month internship with Google Chrome. After that, I will be doing an internship with Microsoft as a project manager. Then I will have my degree and be making a decision to follow a career path with software engineering or project management.
Hello, my name is Adam Gorman, and I'm currently a senior a super senior at Florida State University, pursuing a computer science degree. I already have a bachelor's of science in mechanical engineering, but decided I wanted to focus more on the computer stuff for right now. And I'm a team member of Team Ludus, and as I think both Tom, Cassie, and me, all 3 of us work full time while pursuing classes whenever we can, and yeah, that's about it for me. It's been a pretty good experience so far with the project and all the stuff we've had to do, and I look forward to next semester.
Hi, I'm Tom Moseley. I am a senior at the Florida State University pursuing a degree in computer science. From here I intend to pursue a master's in software engineering. I am married, have been for 17 years. I live in Titusville, Florida, work at the Kennedy Space Center. I've been in the software. Hi, I'm Tom Moseley. I am a senior at the Florida State University pursuing a degree in computer science. From here I intend to pursue a master's in software engineering. I am married, have been for 17 years. I live in Titusville, Florida, work at the Kennedy Space Center. I've been in the software business since 1988 and it keeps on growing. I am also a member of Team Ludus. The word ludus is Latin for to sport or to learn. The name is used in a book called Ready Player One by an author named Ernest Cline. In this book, Ludus is a virtual world that is populated by schools, where students, instead of the physical world where schools are books and going to classrooms, where students can game their way, can learn in different ways than they can in the physical world. We try to encompass some of that philosophy in our product, also called Ludus. We try and adapt gamification principles into the world of learning, so where students can earn badges and they can create their own badges, their own rewards, and they can mold their learning environment in a way that is more familiar to them in the 21st century. So thank you for your attention to the presentation, and enjoy.
When brainstorming different project ideas, we realized that all of the team members had one thing in common. We experienced many difficulties with the interface of our online courses. There's often a lack of organization. It's difficult to keep track of which peers are in which courses. And most importantly, there's no motivation to complete assignments early. That is when we came up with the idea for Ludus. Ludus is useful not only for students, but also for teachers. From the teacher's perspective, it is easy to update each course. There's also a clarity of student participation. For the students, it is clear to them what is due and when. Also, they can easily see how each update impacts their schedule as a whole. There is fun, and there are rewards in completing assignments early. Also, students will find assistance in finding the appropriate peers to hold assignment discussions with to ensure that they are getting the most out of their learning experience.
One of the key things we wanted to achieve in Ludus was to add additional motivation and more feedback to the students. And one of the ways that we were going to do this is to add a point and badge system to the course, so that you can have things similar, parallel to that of the Xbox, PlayStation, and a lot of the games now have these achievements and badges you can earn by performing well, and you can also kind of mark your progress and see how you're doing, as well as it helps the teacher better identify how students are progressing, and it helps organize assignments and peers because it adds a little bit of competition and a friendly way of achievements and stuff like that. And there's also going to be various games and activities based upon the class material, and a good sort of parallel of an existing system that sort of uses sort of game-like activities would be the Khan Academy, where it has you complete randomly generated questions, let's just say for arithmetic or calculus or something, and you have to complete 10 in a row correctly before it marks you as correct and to earn an achievement for it. Or if you complete those 10 in a quick enough speed with a high enough accuracy, you get achievements and things like that. We kind of wanted to take that idea and expand upon that so that the students get quick feedback, it's more fun, and it's more interactive so that everyone can win and learn at the same time. One of the things we wanted to do was to integrate assignments, due dates, and other important events into a calendar that syncs with student calendars outside of the traditional Blackboard or other school systems. So the professor or instructor would put assignments in their own personal calendar for the particular course instead of a PDF or a document or things, although they can still generate those. And the professor will have multiple courses, and they'll have each a calendar for each one, so that when they update it, it'll update in the students' calendars as well, such as the Google Calendar, which is quite popular, even for people who don't use Gmail and stuff like that. A lot of people use their calendars, and we just wanted to have a way to sort of synchronize everything a little bit better. One of the main motivations behind having a more synchronized calendar is that students will never have to worry or have an issue with having their calendar be out of date with their phone, their email, wherever they're keeping track of their calendar. We're going to set it up so that it can be synchronized and always correct regardless of it. So then instructors won't ever have to deal with having various dates that are slightly out of sync. There will be one central place that the calendar will always be. It'll be accessible. It'll be very accessible by many places, but what's it like for the student? Well, the first thing that they're going to see whenever they're in the system is a calendar and better notifications on upcoming events, everything with due dates, assignments, progress, and everything that may have time-sensitive things, as well as they'll see points and badges that they've been earning, as well as perhaps the points and badges of their other students to see how they're progressing and sort of drive a little bit of motivation and competition there, because that usually helps propel people, and also it helps as an instructor identify areas that are weak by having more points outside of a few homework assignments. If you have a slightly more focused view as to what students are doing or not doing, you can better adjust the lectures and the course material so that the mistakes that students might be making might simply be a clerical error, or something about a particular topic isn't adequately covered. So that sort of the students will have a better education and instructors will become better professors over time. And a sort of an offshoot, as one of the things that I personally find this to be fascinating, is there was an example of if you have a classroom full of 100 students, and let's say a geometry class or something, and you have them make a point on a graph or something like that. 2 students get this 1 point, let's just say xy is equal to 2, 3. 90% of the students get it right. It was 5, 5 or something. Well, those 2 students, you'll think, oh, they just did the assignment wrong. But with the online systems and the way that it can be scaled up and the way that these mini games and activities can be used perhaps by different universities and maybe even internationally and globally and be more available just as fun games for people who want to participate in them but aren't necessarily in the class, who are getting the official recognition for completing it. And all of a sudden you have 10,000 or 100,000 students who have completed or progressed through this particular assignment, and you realize now that 2,000 students are getting that same xy equals 2, 3. So now it's still 2% of the total population, but you start to be more aware of maybe there's a reason that they're getting that wrong. And with a more interactive system with points and badges and this type of system, you should be able to identify those areas. And you could even perhaps add a comment to, if you get a particular answer, help guide them back onto the correct. One of the difficulties with a lot of new systems is getting people to trust your site or to know, are they truly encrypting and hashing your password correctly, as well as the fact that most people probably have at least 50 plus different websites that they have to log on to, and it just becomes sort of a nuisance. And this is where we strongly believe that you should be able to use existing infrastructures, and in our decision we went with OpenID, which you can use through your Yahoo, your Gmail, and a variety of other services, so you can log in through those and then access our system, so that you don't have to worry about security or you don't have to make another account or anything like that. And this is, we believe, the best solution given the current tools that are currently available out there. One of the questions that we contemplated when we were coming up with the idea and working out was, will this help keep students organized? And we believe very strongly that it will, because there will be more reference materials. And one of the things that we hope to do with the estimating schedule study times and stuff is, since there will be more interactive modules and things of that nature, you'll be able to evaluate in real time how long a student spends on a particular page instead of having a downloadable homework. If you're having sort of smaller snippets and more frequent small homeworks, you can see if a student's struggling. But also at the same time, you can generate graphs and time so that in future semesters you can give a better idea to future students how long things are supposed to take and how long it's taken previous students to do the same activities. As well as for particularly troubling areas, the instructors or other students could help post links and stuff in more an embedded system, sort of a little closely linked, instead of having it be separated in various other locations. Like some students will create Gmail groups, Facebook groups. They'll talk on the discussion forum, and it'll be kind of scattered, and a lot of times certain students will miss out on things if they weren't in the right place to get the invite or whatever. And we kind of want to make the system a little bit better so that the students stay more organized, the professors can be more aware of what's going on, and that everyone can benefit so that the few students who miss out traditionally won't miss out anymore. One of the big issues with distance learning students is that community and interacting with fellow students becomes slightly more difficult with the different constraints about the distance, time, and everything like that. And we want to help make it become more of a learning community and not just a particular Blackboard website or some other website that you visit for a short period of time and you forget about. We want to make flashcards that are turned into games for the entire class, allow even students to participate in making some flashcards so that they can earn badges or awards or something as sort of a for fun activity, and maybe even give some awards to help bring, if they have a question, bring it to attention a little bit faster. If they've been active in helping other students, they should be able to get a little quicker time for their questions to be answered, or even offer perhaps a small incentive grade-wise to be more active in the environment. And we want to just make review material a little bit better and make it just a little more in line with the students of today, instead of a lot of the traditional classroom approaches that are more. Each year, I feel like, in my opinion and what I read, is the traditional learning, newer students are struggling more and more with it because they're still following old styles, and we need to start introducing new styles, especially for distance learning students. One of the most critical and key points is to engage the students. We want to promote a more engaging and a more fun environment so that the students want to learn, and that they don't just think they're learning. They're coming on to play a game. They're coming on to interact with friends, make it a little more social media based with achievements, badges, points, help the students stay active, have a better gauge at how they're doing. And one of the things students of today really need is they need and want more instant feedback. Having these 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and sometimes longer turnaround times for homework, it doesn't help reinforce the learning, as well as if you do something wrong and you're told, oh, that was wrong, you can correct it, and you can stop wasting time studying things that possibly are incorrect and refocus on what is correct. And it'll help make the students be more intelligent. It'll allow them to go on to more problem solving and more challenging problem sets. And we think this is extremely important for every student out there from all grades, college level, and even beyond college. We need to engage students in a better atmosphere, and one of the things most students today are responding to better is those systems that have more instant feedback and sort of a feedback loop. As you do well, you hear a nice little sound, you earn something, even if it's trivial as a little icon or a graphic, just something to sort of reinforce that you did a good job. It really helps with the students of today, help them become better people. During our collaborative discussions as what this project needed to fulfill, obviously we are going to come to the functional requirements. We need to have an individual sign-in, and that's where we went with the OpenID. We need individual course views so that you can stay focused on a particular course at one particular time. You also need full schedule course views and full calendars, and allow it to be customizable so that the student can fit something to their style and what works best for them. And we want to have assignments complete, whereas just as a parallel, I don't want to keep referencing Blackboard, but a lot of times you have to go through 3 or 4 layers of going to, you have to log in, you have to go to courses, you have to select your course, you have to select student tools, you have to select my grades, and sometimes things aren't there, sometimes there are, and we want to make a system that lists all the assignments that marked as complete, incomplete, and highlight the ones that are going to become due in a short period of time. We want to have user profiles. Instead of just having a single name, we want to make it a little more customizable, a little more fun to have. Having the discussion forums and stuff like that, you have just a name. You have no way of sort of making it your own. And so you kind of always feel distant. You always kind of feel a little bit alone on Blackboard, and it's very difficult to connect. Where a lot of times you can make responses to posts, but you can't send a private message. You can't find out a little bit more. Maybe someone's in the area and you don't want to just make these posts everywhere. You want to be able to reply to posts, and we just want to make it a more engaging experience. And these are just some of the functional requirements that we consider to be our top priorities right now. There's a lot more we would love to be able to do beyond what's listed, and even possibly what's beyond this course. I know me, Tom, and Cassie have all shown interest in pursuing this even beyond next semester's Software Engineering 2 course, and we've thought about maybe even pushing this into the summer or next fall as an actual real-world product, because it's something that we all feel very strongly about, as that there's a real problem out there, especially for distance learning students, that we want to be able to solve some of the problems and difficulties that they have. One of the things that was very important to us of standards to uphold is that we want to collect no personal information ourselves, so that people don't have to worry about trust or security. We're using OpenID and other forms of aliases and things of that nature, where you'll still have to register. Instructors will still be able to properly teach these students, but it will be an overall more secure environment. We'll also be using secure socket layer for all our communications, so that the few times that something does get passed around, we're making sure it's adhering to modern security standards, and we want it to be accessible and follow the W3C standards, which is the World Wide Web Consortium, which helps make things be more accessible, more browsers, people with perhaps some disabilities or challenges. We want to make sure that it's an extremely accessible system, regardless of who you are, where you are. Do you have eyesight problems? Do you have bandwidth and resolution issues? A whole variety of issues, and we want to make this the best system that we possibly can. And I know me, Tom, and Cassie all feel, as I've said several times before, very strongly about this, and it's a product that we want to actually make it high quality and make it professional, and perhaps even help some other students out there perform better, learn more, and just have fun while learning. And I hope you've enjoyed the slides and the presentations. I hope you enjoy the SRS document and the various other things that we've put forward. And we hope that we can bring the product and the software that we all have envisioned as what this should be, and what we all hope it will be next semester, and maybe even beyond.